So when you think of Neumann, you normally think of quality. As of now, they have products from microphones to headphones and now to audio interface. So can Neumann actually create the perfect studio experience? Well, let's find out. Comment down below what's one thing you're missing in your studio setup, and if you do comment, you get a chance to enter a giveaway where I'm giving away either a microphone that's a twin UT, my studio monitors which are my Yamaha HS8s, or a laptop which is a Razer Blade 15. Subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want more content like this. What's poppin', gang? I'm 30 Killer Beats, and today we're going to be taking some of my favorite products from Neumann to see what is their Neumann experience for an actual studio setup, and overall come to the conclusion is, what are they actually thinking and is it actually worth it? So first off, let's start with how you're going to be able to hear this whole entire thing. Now, Neumann have made a lot of studio monitors, but for today's setup, I have chosen the Neumann KH310. Now, this isn't your just average everyday studio monitor that you just pick up at Guitar Center, as you can see for the rest of the items that's on this list, but we'll jump to that in a minute. So there are different types of speakers, where one of them like a ported speaker, where there's a vent where you have an enhanced bass output, basically like most speakers like my Yamaha HS8s. Or you have something called sealed monitors, where they're airtight, super enclosed so air can't escape, and basically helping you get accurate bass response. You can kind of think of this concept like open and closed back headphones. So when you're recording vocals, generally we always say, go with closed back headphones, versus like when you're mixing and mastering, you want to go with open back headphones. Well, when you're getting a sealed closed cabinet for a studio monitor, this is going to give you a really accurate bass response for music production, in which the Neumann KH310A is designed exactly for that purpose, for mixing and mastering. So this is a three-way speaker design, pretty much totaling around 210 watts. You get 50 watts for the highs, 70 watts for the mids, and 90 watts for the lows. You do get to add the EQ on the studio monitor so you can tailor it to the sound of your room. And honestly, this is a really solid, rugged build. Like, this thing you can mount on your wall if you want to. It comes with mounting points as well, and I just really love the overall design of this thing. And you have a lot of options to really turn it up and down as far as the volume, because these speakers can get extremely loud. And with my personal experience with using these studio monitors over different ones, I can definitely say that these studio monitors do give a more in-your-face sound experience. But I gotta be honest with you, this thing does have a price tag to it. So a pair of these speakers will cost you around $5,000, but hey, if you had that moment to save up for a car, a down payment for a house, no, don't do that. Just go with some studio monitors so you can mix and master all your work professionally. Now, let's talk about the brains of this operation, how you're going to be able to record vocals so you can have this recording studio experience. We got to talk about the Neumann U87. This is the microphone I've been using for this entire video. It's plugged into the Neumann MT48, but we're going to get into that in a few. But this microphone is extremely detailed versus other microphones that I've tried. And I've tried a lot of microphones as far as cheap budget microphones and more other expensive microphones like the Rode NT1A. That's a really great microphone as well. One thing I do notice with this microphone versus like other ones that may be either around this price or a little bit under this price is that with this microphone, it's just super musical. You get a lot of detail. In a way, it kind of does some of the work for you. Like some of your P's and your B's really get handled a lot easier with this microphone versus other microphones where they kind of struggle with handling plosives. So honestly, I think this microphone is really able to handle dynamic range of, different performances when you're putting this microphone into really tense situations. And of course, it better do all that and the above because of the price tag. This thing costs around $3,600 if you want to get this Neumann sound. And let me know what you think about it. Does this sound like it's worth it? I think it, honestly, I just really love the detail that I'm getting from it, and I just can't find this with other microphones. But you know, honestly, with other microphones, you do get that detail, but it's just a different way. And you know, it's honestly, you have to pick the microphone that works best for you. If this microphone works for your voice, then that's great. It may not work for your voice. You have to try it out and see. In my personal opinion, I feel like a lot of celebrities pick this microphone is because that it does give you that natural sound. It does give you the sound of what you sound like versus other microphones. You have different harmonic distortion and coloration and stuff like that. Versus this microphone, I feel like it sounds completely natural. Now next, let's talk about Neumann's audio interface. I'm not going to go over every single detail. You guys have probably seen that already, but the dynamic range of this audio interface does smack a huge punch with coming in around 136 decibels. Literally any microphone that you throw at this can handle the entire range of what that microphone can output. And this thing is honestly like a whole computer. Like, this thing has a fan inside of it. I did a video in the past where I was kind of confused where this thing had holes in it, and it does, but I wanted to know if it had fans in it and all that kind of stuff, and it does. So this thing actually gets pretty hot if you let it sit for a while. So depending on, you know, your use case scenario, you know, you might want to adjust the fan depending on your use case. And with this huge big old screen, you do have the option to add EQ to the vocals, which I do right now. You can see this is the EQ that I have for my vocal, and I'm using the Neumann U87, and this is how it sounds. Let me know in the comments, do you think it sounds really good right now for my voice? And let's move over to the compressor. You do have the option to add a compressor to your voice now with this interface, where it is strictly done within the interface and without any additional software outside of the computer or anything like that. So you're going to be able to output extremely high quality audio recordings with this interface, and it sounds amazing. I do love the fact that they kept it the USB-C, so you can plug it into other things. You do have to plug in an external power output as well, so this interface will not rely on your computer power. I actually recorded an entire song with this interface, and this thing sounds amazing. One thing I did notice as well is that you may experience a lot more noise in your recordings as well. And when I say noise, I'm not saying like bad noise like static or anything like that. I'm referring to like noise of the sounding of different sounds in your voice. Like when you hear like, you know, different spit noises and stuff like that, like all that stuff comes out a lot more versus like other interfaces where things are a little bit more muffled and less detailed. Versus with this interface, you're going to get a lot of more detailed and more spit sounds and mouth sounds and stuff like that. So let me know if you noticed that or not. I don't know. But this microphone is plugged in directly into the interface. Overall, I think this whole entire setup is for someone who is extremely serious about getting detail overall. I mean, at the end of the day, you could use cheap gear. You could use your phone. You could use Apple earbuds. We all know that you can go as cheap as possible. This setup right here is not for being as cheap as possible. This setup is for being able to put yourself in a position where you can take on mixing and mastering sessions and recording sessions as well, because you're going to be able to get high quality audio and recordings with this setup. You're going to be able to mix and master high quality recordings and huge sessions with this whole setup. We're getting three things. And you're going to be able to do it at the highest quality possible. I don't know what else to tell you. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking about getting a product from Neumann. Do you have any products from Neumann at the moment? Do you have a TLM 103? I used to have one of those. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see on this channel. Make sure you add me on Instagram, TikTok, and X. You guys stay safe. Peace.